Welcome back. It's no longer news that coach Stephen Keshi was given the axe after Super Eagles' disgraceful loss to Sudan in 2015 Africa Cup of Nations qualifier in Khartoum. Is Keshi's sack a good move or a bad decision? Also, on a separate note, the female football team, Super Falcons, are competing in the African Women's Championship in Namibia. They have won the competition 6 times. What are the chances this time around? Joining us on the show to discuss all these is a sports analyst, Tega Onajaite. Welcome to the show.
We're excited.
We love listening to you on the radio. We know you are a sports junkie, and we've been accused several times of not talking sports. So today we are all ears to learn from a sister. Like, okay, what's happening? First of all we know that they sacked Keshi. What is going on? What happened?
Several things down the line. I think it was a good move, but it was bad timing.
Okay.
If you look, there are a lot of issues with Keshi and players. Keshi actually opened the Nigeria Premier League. Ideally, your Premier League should feed your national team.
True.
Now, a lot of our players are talented. They go to Europe, and then most coaches that come are supposed to doing the work of going around to the different leagues, to different clubs to watch matches and say, this is a good player, that's a good player. They just watch Europe, and then they call players from there. So that means that your league has nothing to aspire to. Then your league has no purpose. It should die down. What Keshi did was try to inculcate the Nigerian style of football, which is the local league, with what we've learned from Europe. So he was one of those, one of the few coaches that actually gave
locally.
for local players something to look forward to. So you see, you go to watch a local league match, and you see players bringing out the best of them, and you wonder why are these players still here? But because they know that they have their eye on the local league. So that's one thing Keshi did. Now the second thing he did was give us back our victory, our glory. We used to be called Giants of Africa, and we hadn't won the African Championship in a long time.
But do you think Nigerians are not that impatient? Because yes, he's won. He gave us Nations Cup. He took us to World Cup. I mean, for us, he was doing well. So why would?
Let me confess now. Maybe people don't know this. From the start, I thought Keshi was tactically and technically deficient. I always thought it from the time I saw him in Togo and Mali. I've seen him. He's a good manager, but he's not a good coach. So what he needs is somebody technical to help him.
Wasn't Amokachi doing that?
Story for another day.
All right.
But basically, what he knows how to do is motivate people. Give people something to fight for. So you will see the boys fight for him. But when you meet a game that is tactical, he doesn't have the plan to maneuver. So that's where we were lacking.
So now the question is, if he's such a good motivator, which there are chances that the new coach right now, he may not be such a good motivator. So isn't it a good choice to have two? Stephen Keshi occupies the space of the motivator, like go do this, and then someone is the technical.
No, they were going to get technical directors, but Keshi has forgotten what I think Keshi didn't do well. Even if he knows how to motivate you, he also doesn't know how to maintain relationships. From his days as a captain, Keshi can come into a place and cause strife.
Was this
and
about
nobody, I'm going to get there. And it has nothing to do with, nobody can solve. If Keshi takes a stand on something, it is hard for you to push him. You cannot be that stiff
so he's arrogant.
And be managing a national position. You cannot. You may manage it with a club for a while. Even Jose Mourinho has problems with his attitude, as good as he is. So you cannot be that stiff. There has to be a compromise. Now, he had issues with Ike Chukwuche, he had issues with Osaze, he had issues with Yobo. You will always have these issues. It's how you move forward. Keshi has this problem of taking a stand and just staying there, and I'm not budging. And because he was getting results at that time, Nigerians were supporting him. But the minute he stopped getting the results, because everybody's going to run into a dry patch, regardless of how good you are. Del Bosque won the World Cup, won European 2012. He has problems now. Everybody's going to get in that bad patch. What helps you is if the people, the relationships you've built with people over time, he didn't have that supporting him. So with all the stress, and then your team is struggling to score, and you have scorers, but you're not calling them because they have problems. And the excuses he was giving was so lame. I remember the last time he said he had Ikechukwu's name on a 24-man list, but he did not tell Ikechukwu that he had his name on the list. Then he sent his special assistant to call Ikechukwu to ask him if he had a South African visa. I mean, sorry. I just woke up one day from nowhere and I just called you. Oh, do you have a visa, a South African visa? Your first question will be, what do you want that for? Exactly. And that's exactly what Ikechukwu said. Yeah. Why are you asking me? Yeah. Because if it was Stephen Keshi calling him and saying, Ikechukwu, do you have a South African visa? He would kind of put two and two together and say, okay, maybe they want to call me for the match against. It was some assistant, not the personal assistant that everybody knows, the guy from Tunisia. Yeah. It was one Nigerian assistant that they just added somewhere in the back room.
Okay, now, Tega, now that he's been sacked, what's the way forward? What's next? Are they going to get a foreign coach or what's...
Yes, now...
Before we get there, the NFF said they sacked him to save his life. What is that about?
It's just PR. Basically, they're saying, when they got to the stadium, a lot of people were... angry already because it didn't look like we had our chances. So it was not just chanting, they were actually throwing things.
Was that video?
Yes, they're actually throwing things.
Wow.
So some
rented crowd.
No. Whether they were rented or not, they were in the crowd and they were throwing stuff.
Yeah.
So whoever rented the crowd,
we don't know that.
Buttress the point is we don't know. But yeah, but that was PR that you sacked someone to save his life. No, that was PR.
So what's the next step?
The thing was, I would have thought the best thing to do was either let Keshi finish the qualifying process and then hire a coach, that a good coach will take us to AFCON, or you sack Keshi and bring in the new coach. But you sack Keshi and bring in an Amadou Shaibu. This is Amadou's fourth time of coming. He's a very good interim coach. He knows how to qualify. But Amadou Shaibu is like taking 10 steps back. I say this, and I'm not mincing words, he may not like this, but he actually said one time categorically that there is no player in the Nigerian league that is qualified to play in the Super Eagles. Guess who scored the winning goal for us at the AFCON 2013?
Local.
Sunday back.
But I wanted to ask you this question. I mean, I was hearing somebody talking sometime. He said, listen, for the Nigerian football, we need to just go back to basics. You know what, take a break for like 4 or 5 years, go back, get the right people, and then maybe next World Cup.
Yeah,
do you agree?
This is the Nigerian problem. Every Nigerian wants to go to Morocco. I'm saying the problem is not us going to Morocco. It's when we go to Morocco and come back, we will start from scratch again. You know, in Nigeria we like quick fixes. We don't look for long-term solutions. For me, qualifying for Morocco 2015, it will hurt my pocket because I make money when we go for tournaments. I will say that.
I will call you. Let me hold behind you. Yakub, are you there?
Yeah, I'm there.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Good morning.
And good morning to the rest of the team.
Good morning.
Yeah, I would love to talk about the earlier topic, but now we are discussing about sports, which we have never been discussing about such things in this video quite a long period of time. But now, let me just talk about this issue now. This Keshi, if I don't make mistake, I want to disagree with your guest this morning because Keshi, it is not a good manager, and then it is not also a good coach. Both joined together. The reason is this. If you say that somebody is a good manager, but is not a good coach, a good manager will know how to manage a player, which Keshi does not have. He does not have how to manage somebody like Ikechukwu Wuse that is caught to goal last weekend. And then he was telling us that the guy was not good, he cannot be able to relate with the team. How is he managed to relate with the team that was playing for in a space? Are you getting it now? He's not a totally good manager. He's not a good coach because Keshi is always arrogant. And then I was listening to Keshi on the radio. He was telling us that they can call for his job. Nigeria cannot call for his head. A coach cannot tell us that. They are paying him in the Nigerian tax player. He cannot tell us.
Yakub, let me ask you a question. If Keshi actually, if the winners and the Super Eagles actually won all the matches, and right now we're already qualified, we have maybe 4 or 5 points. Would you say the same thing about Keshi?
Morales, let me tell you this. Nigeria wants results. Keshi play 11 match, drop 5, lost 5, and win 1. What is that? If keeping winning, Nigeria will not let him go. But
thank you, Yakub.
We have many
Thank you.
No, okay, let me answer Yakubu. You know, when people start getting angry with you, they just throw out the baby with the bathwater. He's not a good manager. He's not a good coach. I'm going to go back to Keshi in 2013 when everybody crowned him Jesus. You have to be very careful when people start crowning you Lord. So He had been arrogant from the first day I knew Stephen Keshi. I would classify him as arrogant. Nobody mentioned that in 2013. We're all celebrating the AFCON win. All of a sudden, he had this poor result, I think, from the run of the World Cup. And everybody now remembers that, he was arrogant. See what he said here. Now, what I mean about good manager, good, and I didn't even say good motivational speaker. If you remember when Nigeria played Mali and how many goals were 4-0 and went into a half. And it didn't look like there was anything going to happen. And then we came back in that game. He did not use any tactical sheets to say, you do this, you do that. He just spoke to them, motivated the guys. You do this. You are good in doing this. You are good in doing that. That's all he said. He did not have any Arsene Wenger moment, and he came up with a plan. No, it was a simple motivational speech, and those guys came out.
Now let's go to the Falcons. Okay. What's going on with them? Tell us, for those of you that don't know.
So far, the Falcons have been excellent. And this is another thing that Edwin Okon got right when he was selecting his team. A lot of people were saying, why are you still taking Perpetua Nkocha? She's old, she's 38, she's played for so long. But it was about blending the old with the new. You're phasing out the old. You don't just want to throw them out. You want them to be able to pass on some kind of experience to the younger ones. I like what they're doing. It's a complete, it looks a complete team so far for Africa, as usual. We are always doing well here. And come think of it, the other people that won this other tournament before, Equatorial Guinea, they are not here. But so far, we look like we had the best of compositions. We're playing South Africa next. I think it will be easy.
Now, talking about playing South Africa next, we're playing on Wednesday against South Africa. And the African Women's Championship, we've won it for about 6 times. Coach Godwin Eko, nobody celebrates him. If it was the Super Eagles playing tomorrow, it's green everywhere. So how come the Falcons have not? And we've won so much more awards than the male. Why is that?
People say Nigeria is a footballing nation. I beg to differ. Nigeria is a Super Eagles nation.
Thank you.
That's how we give our money to the Super Eagles. Age grade football is only when they go ahead to win that you really hear a lot of talk about it. And female football suffers. I mean, think about it. Winning bonus for the Super Falcons is, last time I checked, was about $8,500. Losing bonus for the Super Eagles is $5,000. For them to have lost to Sudan, $5K.
Wow. Let me take Adewale's call. Good morning. Adewale, are you there?
Hey, good morning, Morayo.
Good morning. Go ahead.
And good morning, Tega.
Good morning.
Yeah, I think about Keshi. Keshi is the problem of what happened to him. Because after that Nations Cup, he played a lot of arrogance that he is the African champion and started putting that thing on his head. He forgot that people are still watching him at the back. The people who put him there, he disagreed a lot with them about the selection of the player. For example, bringing players from Malaysia, India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, and Ikechukwu Uche is in Villarreal, and in performing better, go and bring somebody from China to come and play a qualifier. Because this old player know what they want. Look at what Tega said about Perpetua Nkocha and Edwin Okon, the coach. He brought the old and the new, blend them together so that they can be able to pass the experience. The one we lost in a way, as the artificial touch, he brought a lot of experienced players that can be able to manage the experience. The worst we can get in that way is draw. But we lost the match to qualify for the Nations Cup now.
Okay.
Dead and buried.
Thank you so much. Nigeria. I guess people still want to go back to this Keshi story because now, are they bringing in a foreign coach or a local?
I think what they're looking at right now is the best coach. Unfortunately, they don't see that in Nigeria. The local coach. Yes. Not in local league. And I will tell you why.
Like
think about it. Amadou Shaibu left Super Eagles over 4 years ago. He had a very brief stint in Orlando Pirates. What stopped him from going to another country to get a job? Keshi left here now, and he's already on his way to Ethiopia.
Now,
Keshi is the only one that makes a conscious effort to improve his CV. Siasia, who I had hopes for. I mean, he's tactically good. He just needs some maturity to handle the political part of the job. He left the job 3 years ago. Go out. Go and boost your CV. Get more under your belt. And then come back. But all of them just sit down and wait for the government to hand them positions. That is the problem with the coaches here. So even if we say, yes, we want local content because the Europeans don't really understand our league and can give us what we want. the local content are not doing much to improve themselves.
But I read somewhere that the cost that Keshi is going for is being paid for by NFF.
Yeah, the NFF offered that if he's going to go for any course, he's going to they're going to foot the bill. The thing is, Keshi is going for a job. Not a course now. Yeah. He wants to go and try to see if the Ethiopians can. The Ethiopians are trying to offer him a job to come and coach their team to qualify for the Nations Cup. And if he's trying to see the terms if he will agree to it. So he's already going for another job.
Wow. Yes, Sandy.
Now I was going to ask you about the Ethiopia talks because it was in the paper in the Nation this morning. We don't think things are working out according to plan. Yeah. But then that's, by the way, you mentioned Siasia, and I'm happy you did that because I'd like you to juxtapose the both of them and their achievements.
Now, the thing is, I'm going to still always have to go back to Europe. There's a very good coach that I know of. I know a lot of people don't think he's a good coach, but he's a very great coach. AVB, Andres Villas-Boas. He coached Tottenham one time, Coach Porto. He's good tactically. He just doesn't know how to handle people, experienced players. He likes his way. And so if you come into a league and you're 32, and there's somebody that is 36 on the team playing for you, and he's won many trophies before. There's a way you talk to him. There's a way you boss him around. There's a way you want him to play. You want him to do what you want to do. You don't just come and impose your new rule. That's the problem with Siasia. If you bring him for age-grade football, the boys are ready to humble themselves. Yeah. But when you come to the Super Eagles and Mikel Obi strolls into camp with his £40,000 a week. How do you counter that? You can't tell Mikel Obi just go and do this. Yeah. You understand? There's how you go and sit on the bench. He can cause a rift in the team. And once you lose the dressing room, you've lost everything. Wow. So Siasia doesn't know how to handle the players.
Corruption.
You don't want to talk about that one.
It's a national thing.
Yes, please go ahead with that question.
Because I think that our football, all the talking about Keshi is that our football would be way higher than where it is now because we have the football talents in Nigeria, but corruption.
Our country will be way better than it is if we had.
What do we need to do as a people? Do we have any hopes at all?
The thing is, do we have any hopes? As much as the country changes, that's how much football will change. I must tell you, that's the truth.
All right, fantastic. I think we can end on that note. Thank you so much. I think you've educated us. You have got a couple more tweets?
I can't find it, but she said that she likes you so much, Tega, that you made sports which she doesn't find interesting.
Oh,
very.
I agree. I absolutely agree.
You gotta bring it back.
May I say just one tweet? Yes. Bring Back Our Girl says, we shouldn't cloud our judgment about Ike because Keshi messed up. Ike had his chance during the last AFCON and goofed. Ike is not our savior.
Thank you so much, Tega, for coming. Really appreciate you being here. Hopefully, we're going to bring you back again because I think we got a lot of tweets on this sports matter. So sports is very popular. So we'll keep talking about sports. All right. Don't forget to watch a repeat broadcast at 11:30 p.m. tonight. You can also watch previous episodes by going to YouTube/TV Entertainment and search for Your View. Remember, the best cure for breast cancer is early detection. Get tested today. Tega, have you been tested recently?
Last year.
Okay. All right, very good. Still, I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye. God bless you.